Chapter 9. Ouch. The sun shone on the ocean and sparkled like diamond. Jack felt safe now. His dolphin was taking good care of him. The dolphin slowed down as they neared the reef. Jack lowered his feet. He felt the bumpy coral. He let go of the dolphin's fin and stood up in the water, and he stood up too. Then she threw her arms around her dolphin and gave her a big hug. "Thank you, Suki," she cried, and she kissed the dolphin's nose. Suki tossed her head and cricked at Annie. "Kiss Sam now," Annie said to Jack. "You're not," said Jack, but Sam nuzzled Jack's head. Then he put the flippers around Jack's neck. Jack couldn't resist. He threw his arms around the dolphin and gave him a quick kiss. Sam nodded and made a clicking sound like laughter. Then he turned to Suki. The two dolphins chattered to each other for a moment. They nodded at Jack and Annie and swam gracefully away. "Bye, Suki. Bye, Sam," Annie shouted. "Thanks," Jack shouted. The dolphins leaped high into the air. Then they dove back into the water with a splash. Jack and Annie laughed. "I wish we could swim like that," said Jack. Jack and Annie watched the dolphins until they disappeared. "I miss them already," Annie said softly. "Me too," said Jack. He sat down in the shallow water. "I'm really tired," he said. Annie sat beside him. "Me too," she said. The warm water lapped around their shirts and t-shirts. Jack pulled off his pack. He took out his glasses and put them on. They were blurry with the water. "Guess what?" said Annie. "What?" said Jack. "I saw the shark when we were swimming," Annie said. "But I didn't tell you. I want you stay calm." Jack stared at her. "I saw it too. I just swam faster so you would swim faster. And I swam faster so you would swim faster," said Annie. "I guess we swam double fast then," Jack said. He shook his head with wonder. "What now?" said Annie. "We go home," said Jack. "But we haven't solved Morgan's riddle yet," said Annie. Jack sighed. He pulled his notebook out of his pack. It was soaked. He pulled out the ocean book. It was soaked too. "We've failed," he said. "My research is all wet. We'll never be master librarian now." Jack pulled everything away. "Let's go," he said sadly. He stood up. Then he stared across the pink cliff toward the treehouse. Annie followed him. "Ouch," Annie said. "What's wrong?" Jack looked back. "I stepped on something." Annie bent down to rub her foot. "What?" said Jack. "A shell?" "Yeah, this." She picked up a large gray shell. "Boy, it is. Is it rough and gray as a rock?" "A plain as plain can be," whispered Jack. They had found the answer. The shell looked like a clamshell, only bigger and with more ledge. "How could this ugly shell be the answer to the riddle?" said Annie. "What about the part that says there's great beauty in me?" "Wait, research," said Jack. He opened the soaked ocean book. The pages were stuck together, but he was able to turn a few. He found a picture of a gray shell. He read, "Divers research for oysters in deep water, but sometimes oysters wash up to the reef or beaches. Inside some oysters, you can find a pearl. The pearl's natural beauty makes it a treasure. It must have pearl inside it," said Jack. And he peered into the crack between the two halves of the shell. "I can't see anything," she said. How does a pole get in there anyway? Jack read aloud from the web page. Sometimes a grain in sand will get between the oyster's shell and its skin. This evastates the oyster, so it makes a polymer materials to surround the grain of sand. In this way, over a few years, a pearl is formed. I can tell if there's a pearl in there or not, said Annie. Maybe we should bang it against a log, said Jack. Now that would really irritate the oyster, said Annie. Yeah. Maybe we should just leave it alone, said Annie. She gently put the oyster back in the water. But how will we know if oyster is the right answer to the riddle, said Jack. Morgan said, we'll know, said Annie. Come on. Jack pushed his glass into place. Then he and Annie picked up their shoes and socks. They climbed through the window of the treehouse. Morgan's squirrel was lying on the floor. It was open. Look, said Annie. She and Jack stared at the squirrel. The riddle had faded away, and in its place was one shimmering silver word, oyster. Morgan's magic, whispered Annie. Jack let out a huge sigh. We got it right, he said. And here's the Pennsylvania book, said Annie. Let's go home. She opened the book. She pointed to a picture of the Four Creek Woods. I wish we could go there, she said. The wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. The wind blew harder and harder. Then everything was still, absolutely still.